Hello, I'm Joe. Welcome to Car Cartel. Again, we're in the car for some Metazoo Meta Talk. I was trying to think of some alliteration there that works. It really doesn't. So I'm in the car because it is the 25th of February and it is in England is 4 p.m. In England, the Kickstarter, the second Kickstarter, the USPCC Metazoo Kickstarter finishes at 5 p.m. So we are down to 1 hour left. We've seen in the last few hours people who had their like Headcaster and the Archcaster bundles kind of, oh my god, it's not payday, like time to whatever, and we've seen them like leave the campaign, which has been really interesting. There's been a lot of like movement where people suddenly been able to get things that they weren't able to get before. I've possibly talked about it before. I'm putting quite an amount of money into this Kickstarter, so I thought I would talk about some of the facts and figures, kind of give for anybody who isn't aware, like a rundown of the Kickstarter and how it's happened and what's developed and stuff. Try and be as concise and quick as possible. Unfortunately, because there's so much information, I've written down a couple of things. I might have to refer to them. So first thing to note is, in England, in the UK money, it is £1.3 million, which is between 5,000 backers, which is pretty impressive. Dollar wise, I'd imagine that's like 1,800 something, like 1,800,000 without checking it out. I don't know. But anyway, there's been 1,000 Archcasters, which I'm a part of. So there's 1,000 of a higher tier, 250 of the Headcasters or whatever it is. And then there are many other different things. So I thought I'd talk about what I got. So I managed to get Headcaster, which means that for my let me check it out. Hang on. Wait. £388 plus £25 postage. So what's that? Like £413 that would have been with nothing else on top. I get 10 of each set of cards: Wilderness, Nightfall, Cryptid Nation. I get 10 of each promo, and I get, I believe it's 10 boxes of the promo cards, the foil promo cards. And I also get, because I'm an Archcaster, I get a special Archcaster promo card, and I get a special 1 of 1,000 Archcaster poker chip, which is pretty cool. And you know, I mean, 1 of 1,000 cards, that's pretty special, right? I think that card, when it comes out, the Archcaster promo, will be worth an amount. If it's not worth like £100, I'd be shocked. Maybe like 50, I don't know. If there becomes a Headcaster, which is a 250 limited edition card, if that comes for sale on the market for like £100, like £150, I'd be tempted. There's only 250 of them. I'd really want that and the special poker chip. I'd probably pay like £200 each. Sorry, £200 together for both of them. I dare say they'll be way more expensive than that. You know, similar promos like the Rudy promos are limited to 1,000 or something, and they tend to go for like $200 to $300 each. So I'm not holding that hope for cheap stuff, but we'll see. We've also got an artist signed print, which is £37 plus £3 postage, and that is, let me have a look, that is limited to 2,150. They sold out pretty quickly, and then there was another set released, which was 1 per person. So I know that a couple of people went mad with those. And the artist signed prints are an interesting one because there's 200,000, sorry, there's 2,000 of them minimum, and then another, whatever the original one was, 1,000 maybe. So I admit there might be like 3 and a bit thousand each. For £40 for a signed print is a lot. Some of the artwork on the USPCC cards and whatever is nice, but it's not the strongest artwork in Metazoo. And also they are prints, not originals. So that is very much like an investment for the future. That £40 is like, oh, it's a lottery, we don't know what prints we're getting. So it's very much like an item for the future. Hopefully 10, 15, 20 years from now, when Metazoo is a Netflix show and a game and everything else that you can get with it, hopefully that print is super limited and it's like a really, you know, rare something or other. But right now, given the option to buy more, which I currently have been able to in the last day when people have dropped out, I've opted not to buy anymore. I think 1 print is enough for me, really, because I'm not overly confident at the moment in, you know, the value of it long term, and I like Metazoo, and I'm not just buying Metazoo to invest. You know, I buy Metazoo cards because I like collecting them. I'm not overly fussed about collecting the art print, so I'm buying 1 to hedge my bets for the future, to say that I've got 1 for my collection. So, oh yeah, I've got 1, and you know, in the future, if it's worth like loads of money, then sweet, but I'm not holding out hope on those. The other thing that you can buy, there was some uncut USPCC sheets for £34 plus £15 postage, which is basically Cryptid Nation, Nightfall and Wilderness all have their own sets of cards, and you can get an uncut sheet of those cards. And there was a bundle that was available when I first logged in, and I didn't understand what I was looking at, so I missed that. But I thought I was just getting an uncut sheet of the trading cards, and I was like, do you know, I was at Cryptid Nation's got Mothman on it, I'll take it. So I bought that without really knowing what it was, and because I was there at the start when the Kickstarter launched, and it was like a big scramble to get all these things, and I was like, oh my god, I need to buy stuff quick. So I kind of missed out on that, on the bundle of all three. But the uncut sheets are cool, and now with an hour left, I might go back on the Kickstarter and have a look and see if people have dropped out, and see if I can scoop up some of the Wilderness and Nightfall uncut sheets, because I quite like one for my collection. And you know, what's that together? 34, that's £49. It's just 50 quid for an uncut sheet of cards. That's a really good investment. I don't know how big it's going to be. I've got stuff from Wizards and the Coaster Pass. I've seen uncut sheets of Pokemon and Magic, which are massive, and I've seen uncut sheets of Magic from the Eldraine release special gift box thing that I spent like 500 quid on, whatever it was, when collector boosters first became a thing. And that was only like, that was 3x3. That was just a 9 it was a 9 card thing. So I don't know if it's going to be the full sheet or if it's going to be 9. We don't know yet. They're going to get revealed, they say, later on today or in the next few days. To note, there's been a little bit of poor management on the Kickstarter. There's been dates that they've announced for releasing various things, like having a look at the prints that we're going to get and having a look at the uncut sheets and whatever else, and we just haven't seen them. Or the original artwork, we just haven't seen anything, which was supposed to be released yesterday. So they've addressed it on the Kickstarter and said, oh, you know, in the next few days we'll show you guys it, but people are essentially blind purchasing stuff, which I suppose is bad, really. I'm sure there'll be some people that drop out at this point because they are blind purchasing, even though we all kind of blind purchased, you know. So I don't know, that'll probably bother a couple of people. It doesn't bother me personally, but there you go. So alongside the USPCC uncut sheets, you also get the trading card promos. So there's a set of, I think it's 12 that you can get, which are the boxes that are included with the set. Obviously, like as an Archcaster, I get 10. It's 10, or is it? Oh, it's 5 boxes of 10. 5 boxes of 10 packs of cards. So hopefully I can get all 12 that I need within like 2 boxes, and then I've got 1 to keep sealed and 2 to sell off to make a little bit of my initial investment money back. But I don't know. So that is going to be holographic. We've seen the artwork for that. It's like it's a bunch of cards that relate to having USPCC cards as tokens. If they are good in the Metazoo meta game and they are played a lot, they will be very expensive, which is cool. I don't know if you'll be able to like access those after the Kickstarter finishes as a non-Kickstarter stamped set. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to collect those. That's one of the big ones for me, is, you know, more, as much as I like trading TCG, whatever, as much as I like USPCC cards, it's all about the TCG cards for me. So that's the big one. You can also get, you can also get playmats. So they announced a run of 1,000 playmats. As of the last time that I looked at that, only 800 of the 1,000 had been taken. They then upped the limit from 1 per person to 2 per person. As far as I know, that's still not sold out, and you can still add more than 1 playmat. I think it's really interesting. I really like that playmat. It's not the strongest artwork, but I like the fact that for £30 plus £3 postage, I can add that onto my backup, whatever, and then, you know, for future Metazoo videos when I'm doing box openings, I've got my exclusive playmat in the bottom, and it's another thing for the collection. I don't have any Metazoo playmats yet. I don't have any of the Rudy ones or any that I've like floating around, so that's cool to have. What else we got? There's 2 tiers that I didn't back. I don't know if I've mentioned this in a previous video, but there's been a bit of backlash in the community from what I've seen. They released a set of poker chips. There is something like, I think it's 9 different designs of the poker chips that aren't including the bounty chip, which is everybody that backs gets a one-off poker chip, and then the headcaster and then the archcaster chips. So there's 3 different unique chips that won't be in the set, but are part of the set technically. And then there is these poker chips, so the 9 ones with the different designs from different sets. So my friend Warren raised a really interesting point. Warren said that normally a set of poker chips is 300 chips, and that's what you'd need for like a professional tournament or a proper setup. Warren said that it is £148 plus £19 postage, so £167 for a set of 100 chips, which is not a functional set of chips. Now, I don't play poker, so it's very bright in it. I don't play poker, so I don't know how that affects viability. I don't know if that's going to stop people from wanting to buy the poker chips because it's not a functional set. I don't know. You know, although you get a box, you get 10 of the packets of the TCG promos including that, so it's down, it lowers the cost a little bit. I think it works out about £1.50 a poker chip. It's a lot of money, you know. I will let my friend Warren buy those, and he was like, well, I can buy them and I reckon I can sell them for £5 a chip to people who didn't buy them. And I was like, yeah, and you know what, there's 9 chips. If you're going to do me a bestie solid and sell me 9 of your chips for what, £18, like £2 a chip, you've made 50p a chip. I've got one of everyone for my collection now. I have to lay out 160 odd pounds because I just can't do that, you know. That, I think there's been a bit of a flawed product there, because yeah, sure, we all like playing cards, sorry, we all like trading cards because we collect trading cards, and yeah, release playing cards and get their World Poker Championship back and blah blah blah. You know, there's been instances of like Mario Pikachu cards and Mario cards and Pokemon playing cards that have been very popular and seen, you know, grading and value, but nobody cares about poker chips unless you actually play poker. But I never expect to see a game of poker being played with Metazoo USPCC cards or a collector's item. The poker chips is like the added back on that nobody really cares about. And I think actually from the price that I'm stating, I think that's gone down significantly. I think Warren was saying it's dropped down like £20 or $25, $30 or whatever it is. So they're obviously trying really hard to shift those. I guess there's a minimum order that they've not managed to like fill out. So I dare say that those poker chips, if they don't sell out, will be appearing on the Metazoo store at some point, or as a free giveaway or something. There's also original artwork that was released, and I am a member of the Magic the Gathering art market on Facebook. Generally speaking, pieces don't go for less than $5,000. In instances of like Forgotten Realms, Dungeons and Dragons, there was pieces of artwork for like Tiamat and a couple of the other big creatures like Lolith. I don't play D&D, but those artworks were going for like $150,000. They were like the most money that has been seen in the art market, because it was so popular. So they were talking about original artwork, and obviously original artwork for a game that is globally popular, you would expect to have a certain price tag. However, I was thinking like £500 to £1,000. Let's have a look at the list. $5,000. £3,685. And you know, and I saw on a lot of the online forums and a lot of people on Facebook saying this is just way too much money, especially if it's blind, nobody knows what they're looking at, and I totally agree. I think that was a bit of a reach on Metazoo's part. I like that they're giving away original artwork stuff. That's really cool. And actually, in the last 24 hours, we've had it announced that there'll be 25 that are for sale. And they will definitely be the best cards, like the blue ink or the red ink and Mothman and stuff. They'll be like the most sought after original artworks. So if you want to front the 3,000 odd pounds, like, then you definitely get one of the best ones. However, the other ones will just be given away. There'll be 24 or something like that, or 48 maybe. I think there'll be 48 that go to people in the headcaster tier, 48 distributed between archcaster, and 48 distributed against average people, the one that got the $65 bundle. which I think is really nice. It's nice to get the art out into the community. Obviously it's failed as a sale item, and I respect that they've been like, you know what, we'll just give it away rather than being precious about it and saving it for an original date. I would absolutely love to win one of these things because there's quite a lot of free giveaways, which is cool. There's a lot of like, so the uncut USPCC sheet we mentioned, 1 in 10 of those will be hollow. So there's 1,000 for sale, and there's going to be 100 of those which are hollows, which are the insert in the card. So there's 52 regular cards and then 1 hollow card, which kind of makes the cards like a booster pack, which is kind of cool. So that, yeah, 1 in 10 of those is going to be 1 in 10. I don't know what the maths is. Yeah, 1 in 10, which is cool. I would absolutely love to get hollow uncut sheet because that's going to be way more valuable than a regular uncut sheet, and it's going to look really cool. And it means that both my sheets would be hollow that I've bought. Be really sweet. There's also what else is there? 75 backers at random will receive an additional hollow uncut sheet. So basically, if you're one of 75 random people out of the 5,000 will receive a hollow uncut sheet as well as a regular uncut sheet, just as a gratis free gift for spending many monies, which is really cool. And 100 of the uncut TCG sheets, which is the hollow promo, cards that are included as free boxes, they will be signed by Mike Wello, which is really cool. So there's a lot of variation and a lot of randomness added into Kickstarter, which is nice, and it means that you're not just buying, do you know what I mean? You're not just, there's not just a, well, I'm buying this product and I know exactly what I'm getting. It adds to that whole randomness that we all come to know and love of TCGs, and the, you know, the booster pack type, you know, potential to get this extra stuff, which is really cool, and I like it. Like I say, I do think there's been some misfires on the poker chips and the original artwork price. I think it's probably fair to say that there is a lot of things to spend money on in Metazoo, and it's quite a common criticism that people are like, it's just a cash grab, you know. And I have actually seen some people who collect in the UK groups do a complete U-turn and be like, I'm not interested in Metazoo anymore, it's all just a cash grab, I don't have any faith in it, which is really bad. You know, we've got 400 people in the UK TCG group, and we've got people exiting out of the hobby because they're not interested, because they're worried about the money, which is really not good. I mean, in the long run, I don't think that's the case. I think that we've only had Cryptid Nation 1 and 2 and Nightfall. Wilderness that release in the next few weeks will really help people to just be able to collect the TCG as it is. But I mean, Metazoo's been going for a while now, and if you look at most TCG schedules, they release a new set every 3 months, and Metazoo isn't there yet. So the frequency of releasing main sets is probably a problem, because there's not enough money to continue. Do you know what I mean? There's not enough interest, and you know, and sometimes that creates wallet fatigue in like other games like Pokemon and Magic. But in this instance, there's not enough Metazoo stuff to buy. That is just regular booster price stuff that you're able to collect, you know, a big set. It's all just the exclusive promos and the extra stuff, and the it's going to be like $50-$60 for a t-shirt or all this crazy stuff. So I think the more regular stuff that people have to collect and look at, the better, really. And in the meanwhile, this, you know, the Kickstarter, I'm super hyped for it. I'm really excited. It'd be really cool to see what I get. I'm really excited to get these booster packs in my hands and open them. Obviously, I'll open them on YouTube for people. And yeah, Metazoo's still exciting. I think it's great. I feel sad that some people are wanting to leave the hobby already and that they're cancelling the Kickstarter pledges, but you know, I feel like it's going to be their loss in the long run, because I am genuinely excited to collect more Metazoo. And like I say, it's not just a financial thing for me. I am programmed to want things for free, so I buy collections of Magic cards and I sell off what I don't want, and I keep what I do want for free. So in my mind, everything's like, oh well, if I buy this for 50 quid, well, as long as I can sell it for 50 quid, that's fine. And I constantly try and challenge myself to like collect for free and stuff, and for things that I buy to go up in value, to make it worthwhile spending the money. But I don't think that's the case for everybody. I think some people can just spend the money and enjoy buying the product, and I do enjoy the product. I just enjoy being able to know that if I ever really need money and I need to sell out of things and stuff, that I can be like, oh, here's what I paid for it, and get it all back and stuff. So yeah, hopefully there is some more cool stuff to come from the Kickstarter Metazoo second release announcements, like when the campaign ends very shortly. I mean, I've been talking for 20 minutes now, so we're about 40 minutes away from it finishing. Hopefully I'll update you all soon with stuff that I receive in March or April. January, February, March, April. No, it's going to be May now, because there is some options for gilding and stuff, which is getting fancy backs to the cards and fronts of the cards. Hopefully my friend Warren is going to do that as well, and I can just sell all my 10 because I don't care about, and then buy a set of his from him, so I can have the fancy ones without having to wait the extra 10 weeks, which is what they've stated it's going to take for people who want to spend an extra $6 a deck getting them gilded. So best of both worlds, me. I'm just going to let my friend spend all the big money and then get all the benefits. Hooray. I'll catch you next time.